Hello and welcome to Writing Mental Health. Today I want to talk about working with shadow and the ADHD shame war. My name is Natsuyo Sugi. I have ADHD and Asperger's, and here I give you some of the tips that I use to cope with life ADHD. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about reclaiming the self. And a lot of times people with ADHD hear a lot of criticism. Some of it constructive, some of it not so much. And that ends up warping our sense of self. And sometimes we get caught in what I call the shame warp. So, for example, we forget that we have good accomplishments and only or mostly focus on the negative because that's what we hear all the time. So, for example, say you have to clock into work and you clock in late multiple times, okay? But also, say you write a report and it wins an award, but what you hear is you clocked in late all the time. You don't hear, you did a good job for the report. And so it gets warped. And we focus on the negative because that's what we hear the most. And so the ADHD shame warp affects our ability to see ourselves and warps our perception. And sometimes we think we're a bad person, when we're not. It's just something like turning in a time card late becomes the issue, and that defines who we are as a person. But we're not just the negative. We also accomplish things, and we need to remember and take a step back and remember what those accomplishments are. And if we focus on our strengths and not always on our weaknesses, then we can have a better understanding of who we are that is balanced. And that's the ADHD shame warp. One of the things we can do to reclaim the self is take a step back and kind of use our inventory, take a look at the good things that we've done, our accomplishments, what our strengths are, and also understand what our weaknesses are. But if we can focus on our strengths and identify our weaknesses, but not ruminate over them and get lost in them, then we have a better understanding of who we are as a person, and that is part of reclaiming the self. And so that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and we'll look at some of the shadow work that we need to do, or at least I will explain some of the shadow work that I have done to help reclaim the self, and maybe there will be some tips that you can use as well. So thanks.